Shalom. All right. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. I just did a video about, Iran dropping the U.S. dollar, which is, all these wars are bankers' wars. OK. But now, this is another article which came out yesterday, April 29th, entitled EU leaders brace for defending against Trump's trade war threats. Now, here it is. The EU and America are supposed to be what? Allies. All right. They're supposed to be, of one mind. But that lets you know that these prophecies are coming to pass, man. These prophecies are fulfilling. The Lord is fulfilling his word. He said his word shall not come back to him void. Now, one of the prophecies, in Revelations, the 17th chapter, which I'm going to get, it says that the beast shall hate the whore. The beast represents EU and the NATO, okay, countries. And the whore is America, the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great. All right. And now we're seeing, that the Lord once again is bringing these prophecies to pass. We're measuring the times diligently and within itself. And we're seeing why the beast, America's allies, are going to end up hating the whore, which is America. It's over what? Money. OK, that's what this world is ruled by, man. That's how these so-called elites, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, Oppenheimers, that's how they rule, man. They rule with the sword and they rule by money, man. God is money. OK, so right here in all these trade wars, which you're going to see in one of these little featured articles, it says it, man. All trade wars lead to real wars, man. So it says, be it warm hugs in Washington or unity over Syrian strikes, it all fades when money talks. And the leaders of Germany, France, and Britain say they will defend against any U.S. unilateral trade measures against the EU. Why are you talking about defending yourself against your friend, against your ally, against your man of your confederacy? All right. Why? Because once again, these are prophecies of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharakah Kodash, that these countries, even though you see, the president laughing and meeting with them and having dinner with them and all this and that, this is all the Lord's will, man. The scripture says that the minds of the kings is in the hand of the Lord. OK, and it also says that the Lord rules in the kingdoms of men. OK, and the Lord is going to manipulate the minds of these of Russia. I mean, not Russia, of the EU and United States to basically end up coming at each other, man. Well, really, the EU countries in the EU is going to end up partaking in the destruction of America. Thus saith the Bible. And we're seeing it, and we're seeing why it's going to happen. It's over money. Trade wars. It says German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President Emmanuel Macron, and UK Prime Minister Theresa May had a joint phone call on Saturday and mulled potential retaliatory measures against Washington protectionist practices. And America is isolating itself, man. All this unilateral BS, thinking that their American exceptionalism, thinking they can do whatever they want to whomever they want. And Trump is the man for that plan. OK, it's going to end up isolating them to the point when this war happens, they're going to be, America's still going to have some allies, but the majority of America's allies is going to turn against them, man. All right. And not to mention the other enemies that America has. That's why this place is going to get bombarded with missiles, man. ICBM missiles, which is going to completely destroy this whole entire land. All right. It says they agreed that the United States should take no trade measures against the European Union, or else the European Union should be ready to defend its interests within the framework of the multilateral trade order, a German government spokesman said in a statement. The press release from the UK government looked somewhat weaker, only stating that the leaders noted the vital importance of our steel and aluminum industries and pledged to continue to work closely with the rest of the EU and the US administration with the aim of a permanent exemption from the U.S. tariffs. All right. It says the U.S. President Donald Trump imposed a 25% import tariff on steel and a 10% one on aluminum in March, providing a temporary exemption for the EU until guess what date? May 1st. All right. And we know that May 1st is what? May Day. All right. May Day, the day that the so-called Illuminati was established, man. So believe me, it's no coincidence that this is the deadline date. All right. This is going to be, And if the Lord has it to where he puts it in the spirit of Donald Trump to establish these tariffs on the EU countries, all right, on May 1st, it's going to be a very hot summer, man. OK, because they do things on certain dates for a certain reason, just like when Trump bombed Syria, with them 100 missiles back on Friday the 13th, man. They did that on specific dates because they work with numbers, man. Numerology on the left hand side. All right. It says who is known for his unpredictability is yet to decide on an extension. Both Macron and Merkel met with Trump in Washington this week, with the atmosphere during the Trump's French presidency visit turning into a bromance. Both leaders also seemed to show a less stern defense on the Iran nuclear deal to the satisfaction of their hosts, but the trade war seems to be looming. All right. On Saturday, Trump reiterated his threats against the EU, claiming that the bloc was designed from the very beginning to take advantage of the United States. Now, you're talking about your so-called allies, man. All right. But you're saying that they're taking advantage of you. It says, not anymore. We told them yesterday. This is Trump saying actually the exact same words. Not anymore. Those days are over. Trump said during a rally in Michigan, promising to end the unfair trade practices with the bloc, China and Japan. OK, so now I'm going to go to this right here, this article, which is entitled EU was created to rip U.S. off, Trump says, as allies brace for trade war. Now, once again, trade war leads to real wars, man. So you got it right here. I'm going to read this right here. It says the U.S. leader hinted that he would stop at nothing to fix the trade imbalance, warning the crowd that they should expect some temporary setbacks on the way to a bright future for the U.S. economy. Now, that's cold for what? This shit about to hit the fan, man. Because and guess what? He, in his mind, is deceived, as it says in Obadiah 1. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee, because it ain't going to be no bright future. Yeah, actually, it's going to be a bright future. A bright future is going to be them nuclear missiles over your head, man. That's going to light up the atmosphere. OK, that's what's going to be bright. That's seeing that mushroom, seeing that bomb go off right before it hits, man. That's what's going to be the bright future. But everything else, that temporary setback is actually the destruction, economic destruction of America, man. It says in short term, you may have to take some problems, and these problems, they're trying to underestimate the problems that's going to happen, man. It's going to be some hell on this place, man. The U.S. economy is going to completely be destroyed. All right. Worse than the Great Depression, worse than 2008 recession, Great Recession. You seeing all these stores closing down. You seeing, how, just things that you used to pay for now cost like what, $2 or $3 extra, man, more. All these malls are closing down. This economy is through, man. All right. It says, so what are you talking about in short term? You have problems. You have problems right now. It says long term, you're going to be so happy. And that's some bullshit. And really what it is, they're going to try to maneuver into the New World Order, so-called New World Order, the mark of the beast. It says, we're going to get it open. We're not doing businesses with these other countries, Trump said. While blasting EU, China, Japan over trade, Trump said that his criticism of the disastrous trade deals, which he is busy straightening out, does not mean he has a personal grudge against those countries' leaders. So he's saying it's bigger than the leaders, man. It's about the countries, which is why we're going to get into this. I'm going to read this article, this paragraph right here. It says Trump new economic threats comes at a time when the 28-nation European bloc is bracing for a potential trade war with Washington, which China's already in the trade war with Washington. So you about to add other countries into a trade war, which once again, as you see this little featured article right here, trade wars lead to real wars where the strong prey on the weak, economics to RT. So you're trying to get into all these trade wars with countries is going to lead into what? A real war. It says May 1st is the deadlines for Washington ultimatum to either limit exports to the U.S. or face steep steel and aluminum tariffs. Go into these scriptures. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of that confederacy. You go into that word confederacy. Confederacy is like allies or friendship. OK, it says covenant alliances pledge between men. Treaty. OK, you got the NATO treaty. You got allies that you basically have treaties with. Alliance league. Constitution orders agreement pledge. Friendships. All right. All the men of that confederacy treaties have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. That's right, because they having these talks, Germany, UK, and France, without Trump. You think they really want to fuck with Trump, man? You think that these countries really want to fuck with America? They only fuck with America because they're getting these deals. But now here it is. You got Trump, whose look is more stout than his fellows, pursuant to Daniel. All right. He's actually causing them a more and more reason to not want to deal with him, man. So that they want to end up deceiving America. And that's when this third world war was going to pop off. And then you're going to see how they're going to turn. Some of these EU countries are going to turn and actually shoot missiles and destroy America too. It says, and prevailed against thee. They that have eaten thy bread, which is what? The money, the trades. Because Trump is saying what? That, they're taking advantage of us with our trade deals. You know, it's an unfair trade deal. So they're eating the bread of America. It says, have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in them. All right. Going to Revelation chapter 17, verse, start at around 15. It says, Revelation chapter 17, verse, Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns, which represents, the NATO countries, EU, NATO countries, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked with what? Those nuclear missiles, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And it all starts with money, man. It's all starting. The trade war is going to lead up to real wars, man, because all these countries want to protect their economy. All right. If your economy is afloat, then you're good. But once you start fucking and messing with a country's economy, you're actually declaring war on them. All right. It says, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. All right. And that's the will of the Lord, that these countries, along with Russia, Iran, China, OK, are going to completely destroy America, man. All right. And you're going to have these other countries get hit, too, going back and forth, because it's going to be a whole third world war. And ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to return with his army and take completely over this whole entire world, man. That's going to be the new world order. That's who's going to be ruling. That's who's going to win. OK, but, once again, just measuring the times diligently within themselves and seeing how the Lord is operating, man. So the why to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for giving us the eyes to see. All right. So keep paying attention and keep watching, man. Shalom.